Okay, so what we are going to take notes on today, and I've made a note page for you, is the ambiguous case of law of sines. So what I've done is I've drawn out a triangle, and in this triangle you're given two sides with an angle, and if I look up here, the shorter side, which is 6, is opposite the angle I'm given. Okay, and so what I want to show you is that two triangles can be drawn with this. So first of all, I'm going to call this triangle number 1. But what you can see, and I've actually drawn this triangle to scale, is if I wanted to keep these the same and keep CB as 6 centimeters, I could also move that side to be over this way. And that would actually make this triangle, I'm going to make it with a dotted line. Okay, so you can see that I could make this second triangle. And I'm going to just draw that there because that's going to be, this is clearly still 6. That's going to be my second triangle. So if you're ever wanting to draw, so that this is 7 centimeters again, this is not perfect. This is 6 centimeters, and I'm drawing this from this outline right here, and this is 30. That I can still keep these pieces the same, 7, 6, and 30, and in the same spot by drawing the second triangle. Now, I'll call this triangle 2. So we're going to address this second. We've already learned by using law of sines how to solve this triangle. So I would take the sine of 30 over 6 equals the sine of angle B over 7. And what your calculator will give you is actually the acute angle, and we see B as acute. What it will not give you is the obtuse angle, and I'll show you how to find that. From yesterday we learned that we can cross multiply and get 7 times sine of 30 equals 6 times sine of B. Divide both sides by 6. And since I'm finding an angle, I take the sine inverse of this expression, and that's going to tell me angle B. Angle B is 36 degrees, and that matches up with what we see here. That looks like it could be a 36-degree angle. I could then go ahead and find angle C by taking 180 minus 36 minus 30, and that would give me 114. Okay, and finally, I could find this side, which I'll call lowercase c, by setting up the expression that we started with. So sine of 30 over 6 equals sine of 114 over c. Okay, and I'm not going to go through because that takes some time, but if you cross multiply and solve, you get that c is approximately 11.0. Okay. All right. Let's go back and see what things changed then, okay? And this is where you want to be clear about how you're going to have to do just one thing by yourself before you go ahead and use law of sines to find this new triangle. First of all, we see that the 30 and the 7 and the 6. We had to find angle B first. And so that's the angle that you're going to focus on in the second triangle, the thing that you had to find first here. And what we found was it had to be 36. Why? Because our calculator said the sine inverse of this is 36. But as we know, there are multiple spots, think of the unit circle, where the sine has the same value, and your calculator only gives you the acute one. So what we're going to do, and what you're going to do to find angle B on your own in today's homework, is you're going to take the angle B from above and find its supplement. Because what is true about angles is the sine of an angle and the sine of its supplement means they add up to 180, are equal. So I'm going to write angle B is 180 minus 36. And what I would like you just to then see, so I got that 36 from up here, is that is 144. And just to show you why this works, let's take the sine of 36 and the sine of 144, and we confirm that we get the same thing. So there are two values when we take the sine inverse here, but our calculator only gives us the 36. We have to find the 144. Okay. Once we've done that, nothing changes in the problem. So that's really how you always start your second triangle. You go back to the angle that you had to find first, and you subtract that angle from 180 to find the new angle. So angle B is 144 in this triangle. That's going to also change angle C, because angle C would be 180 minus 30 minus 144. And so we get angle C is only 6 degrees, and that looks accurate. And then finally, so we now know in this triangle the three angles, we would go through again and say sine of 30 over 6. I'm talking about 6 because it's the length of this side 6, not the angle, equals sine of angle C, which is 6 degrees, over C, lowercase. So we cross multiply and solve, just like we did above. I divide both sides by sine of 30. And I get side C, which is this little side right here, to be approximately 1.254. I find it helpful if you can try to sketch a picture. I know that sometimes that's not possible, but you'll see on your homework today that I have put a star on the back side of the ones that are ambiguous cases where you need to find two triangles. And so on those starred ones, you're going to want to make sure that you're very careful to go through and make a note of what is the angle that you're finding first. And possibly draw a picture, and you might need to do some work on another piece of paper. But that is the ambiguous case of law of sine and how to find a second triangle.